To buy the villagers precious time to survive, the captain stuffed a towel in his mouth, took a deep breath, and charged into the inferno without hesitation. Before leaving, he instructed his team to start a 3-minute countdown. If they didn't receive his signal by then, it would mean he had perished in the flames, because it's all too easy to lose your bearings in there. Fortunately, the captain kept his nose and mouth covered as he sprinted forward, hacking a path with his hand axe. Even though an endless sea of fire stretched before him, he never stopped. He kept swinging that axe with everything he had, and just seconds before his strength gave out completely, he relied on hazy memory to burst through the forest and finally found that life-saving river. The captain quickly grabbed the flare gun from his waist, but what he never could have imagined was that the bullet, that symbol of hope, turned out to be a dud, and he had no backup. The miracle he'd fought so desperately to find had turned to nothing. By now, the captain was completely spent. He didn't have the strength to make it back, and the villagers trapped in the middle of the forest were crying, their faces filled with despair. The agreed-upon time had passed, and everyone understood what that meant for him. Now, if they wanted to survive, they'd have to rely on themselves. They pinned their hopes on the fire-resistant blankets they carried, but there clearly weren't enough in their backpacks for everyone. The men gave their chance at survival to the women, and in those final moments, the firefighters gave theirs to the villagers. As the flames closed in, the men huddled together, hoping to use their own bodies as shields to protect their loved ones from the merciless fire. Mothers kissed their young sons goodbye. Some women watched in agony as they were about to lose their husbands. Young women prayed for a miracle, and several firefighters pulled out photos of their loved ones. But just as the searing heat threatened to consume them all, a figure emerged from the sea of flames. The team members could hardly believe it. The captain had staggered back through the fire, but he was burned beyond recognition, barely clinging to life. His teammates rushed to put out the flames on his body. The captain slowly opened his charred, ruined hand to reveal a white wildflower. The team immediately understood what he meant and organized everyone to head for the river. Following the path the captain had blazed, they all made it through the flames with relative ease. But the captain would never stand again. Between the extreme heat and all the smoke he'd inhaled, it was a miracle he'd even made it back to warn them. His teammates tried to drag him toward the river when they suddenly heard the roar of support aircraft overhead. He stood there in the middle of the inferno, waving his arms frantically, but from the pilot's perspective, he was impossible to spot. Gradually, the man began to fade, his body giving out. That's when he noticed the headlamp on the captain's head. He pulled it off, switched it to strobe mode, and hurled it into the air with his last bit of strength. After several attempts, the rescue team finally spotted them. By then, the thick smoke had him retching uncontrollably, but as a beam of white light cut through the darkness, both men finally cheated death. That wildfire claimed the lives of countless firefighters. Every single one of them was just an ordinary person, yet they carried an extraordinary mission. Billowing smoke couldn't block their determined advance, and raging flames couldn't burn away their unwavering resolve. There are no heroes who descend from the heavens, only ordinary people who throw themselves into harm's way without a second thought. When these firefighting heroes take off their gear, they're loving fathers to their children, devoted sons to their mothers, and caring husbands to their wives. They're as ordinary as anyone else in a crowd, just regular people. But they carry a sense of duty and responsibility deep in their hearts, and when disaster strikes, they transform into superheroes in an instant, charging forward no matter what stands in their way.